What was I made for? So, how many of you here know the answer to that question? Well, good. I'm glad there's some of us who still are working on it. For those of you who do know and are living your purpose, just know that you can still use whatever I'm going to say this morning, because I'm sure there's some spot where you're stuck. And so just for some of us, it's our purpose, but for you, just wherever you feel like you can use this wisdom. You know, Reverend Kathy brought it up in her talk. Oh gosh, it's been 2 or 3 weeks ago. She brought up the importance of knowing your purpose and your desires, and I just was kind of like looking at the headlights going, I'm 76 and I still don't know clearly. I haven't really looked at it that closely. So I started really thinking about it, and you know, when I come and speak with you all on a Sunday, what you're hearing is what's stirring in my head and what I'm processing. And so that's what's been stirring. And so that's what you're going to get this morning. So I was looking at all the different things that were these ideas that were moving through me. It seemed like they were all coming from the things that I have just recently been watching or reading. And so I'm going to share with you some of the things, what was in them that spoke to me. So besides the Science of Mind textbook, there was the book, A Happy Pocket Full of Money. And that was our last book that we all just read together. And that book, where it brought together spirituality and quantum physics in such an incredible way to show us how to manifest using the principles of science and spirituality. I'm still processing that one. The next piece of my puzzle was the new book we're reading, which I was supposed to tell you about, is available in the bookstore, along with the Science of Mind magazine. This book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers, it explains how fear can get in the way of our moving forward and, expressing our desires. And so the concepts in that book have kind of been stirring. And then there were a couple of movies. I don't see very many movies, but the ones I do see, I process for quite a while. So the first one was Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I watched that 3 times. And then the movie Barbie that I watched 4 times. But I have to admit, one of those was just, I wanted to focus on Ken. So, and what I found was that these repeated viewings, the reason why that happens is because there's still something in me that hasn't been answered yet. There's still a piece that I haven't quite figured out, and so I watch them multiple times. And I don't watch much TV, but before I go to bed and after everything is in order in case the general shows up in the morning, everything is in order, then I make myself a little snack and I give myself permission to watch maybe a half an hour or an hour until I just get too sleepy. But I just pick randomly whatever is calling to me. And it was interesting that I felt I watched I think each of these series had like 4 seasons and many episodes. And so the 2 that I was watching first was The Good Place and then Ted Lasso. And I have to tell you, watching them the second time all the way through, it's a very different experience. And there's some real gems and jewels in them, at least there were for me. And I think it's interesting how, I was watching and reading all these things and not really seeing how each one of them was like a little piece to the puzzle that the universe was trying to show to me. And they're like in the background, slowly just kind of merging into some new ideas and thoughts. And turned out, because this is what's been stirring, it was all about what was I made for. And I think I like that better than why am I here? We've been told that those why questions just seem to kind of circle and you never really get a satisfactory answer. And besides, I am here. So it was more important to me to know, what am I here for? What is the purpose of my being here and having this experience? So I want to share a few of the gems from the things that I have been called to watch. In the Netflix series, The Good Place, we learn what it takes to get to heaven, the good place. What your score has to be in order to qualify to get in. And around season 4, we get a glimpse of what heaven really looks like. And where there's no more lessons to learn, no more junk your parents laid on you that you have to release, no more journeys, no more workshops, no more physical conditions to heal. You're in heaven. You're in the good place. And it's good in the beginning, and it's even kind of good in the middle. But we find out that for all those people who made it to the good place, eventually they get bored. And they wander around like zombies, and it's eternal. Yes, a very long time. And in Barbie land is a good place. Every day is perfect. You float down to your car. Your hair is always perfect. It never gets wet. Every day is just absolutely a perfect day. And then one day, Barbie gets an irrepressible thought about death. Somehow, some idea from somewhere way outside Barbie land was able to get into her consciousness. Which is a lot like in A Course in Miracles, where they say that a tiny mad idea occurred that split the one mind. A thought of something outside itself happened, and the huge chasm of separation appeared. So Barbie's world turns upside down. Suddenly she doesn't float down to her car, she falls down into it. She spills stuff on her clothes. Her perfect Barbie world is totally disrupted. Her feet are flat. So she goes to see Weird Barbie. And everybody in Barbie is either a Ken or a Barbie. They're just different versions, kind of like here. And so she goes to see Weird Barbie to see what she can do to straighten this mess out, this discord, and to get things back to the way they were. So I want you, if you will play, Trevor, this video, you'll get it. No, it's not this one. This one you have to wait to learn. There was another video. Okay, well then I will. Too bad. It's too bad because it's a great video. I've watched it enough. I can do it for you. So Barbie goes to Weird Barbie to have her fix this, and so Weird Barbie stands there, and Weird Barbie is played by Kate McKenna, and she's got wild hair, and she's the Barbie that every girl tore apart and messed up their hair and chopped it, and so she is that Barbie that you all just tore apart. So anyway, there is Weird Barbie, and she is holding a pink high heel and a Birkenstock. And she says to Barbie, Barbie, you have to make a choice. The pink high heel or the Birkenstock. One is that you're just going to accept things as they are. And the other is that you're going to go out and fix the rip in the universe. And Barbie ponders, and she is so beautiful. And she goes, the high heel. And where Barbie goes, no, you're completely wrong. That's not what you get to do. You have to pick the Birkenstock. And Barbie goes, nope, I want the high heel. And she alludes, Weird Barbie alludes that means you might get, oh God, what is this stuff you get on your legs that you don't want? Cellulite. You might get cellulite. And so Barbie's like, oh my gosh, this means this is going to be really important. So finally, it's a very beautiful scene. She says, I'm stereotypical Barbie. I'm the Barbie that you think of whenever you think of a Barbie. And I really just want the pink high heel. Finally, Weird Barbie takes the high heel away and says, you are picking the Birkenstock. And so it goes into this scene where Barbie's now leaving Barbie Land, and there's a big billboard that says, the real world. Okay, there you go. Okay, so reluctantly, Barbie embarks on this hero's journey and ventures out into the real world, outside the perfect world of Barbie. Yes. Here she encounters aging, selfishness, meanness, and suffering. It's much like Siddhartha, who, he only knew the wealth and riches that he was raised in inside the palace. And suddenly when he was outside in his version of his Barbie Land life, he saw the same suffering. So why would Barbie and why would Siddhartha leave all the comfort and bliss of their lives and venture out into a world of suffering? Well, contrast showed up. Both encountered a world neither one had known before, and both went out to experience it with the hope of understanding and perhaps fixing it, to fix that rip in the universe, the separation, the contrast. And confronted with something unknown to them, they also confronted something else they didn't know, which was fear. And it appears that fear is a big reason why we avoid just even looking at the question of what was I made for? If we're not already doing our purpose, then it's probably something we're not doing and we don't know what it is, and so it's the unknown. It's why we want to pick the pink high heel and not the Birkenstock. We want to stay in our Barbie land, what we already know, and not go out into the unknown. On page 21 in Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, Susan Jeffers offers 5 really interesting truths about fear. I want to read them to you. The first truth about fear. Number 1, the fear will never go away as long as I continue to grow. And hopefully we're all still growing, which means there's always going to be fear. Number 2, the only way to get rid of fear of doing something is to go out and do it. Number 3, the only way to feel better about myself is to go out and do it. Number 4, not only am I going to experience fear whenever I'm on unfamiliar territory, but so is everyone else. And number 5, pushing through fear is less frightening than living with the underlying fear that comes from a feeling of helplessness. So Siddhartha pushed through the fear, and so did Barbie, and Siddhartha became the booby. I was channeling Dr. Carolyn. Siddhartha became the Buddha. There's too many B's. Hey, and Barbie became a real human. Hey, that's what it is. And Eleanor Shellstrop in The Good Place eventually got into heaven. And in Ted Lasso, the major theme was not about winning the games and reaching your destination, but it was about having the courage to step in the ring in the first place, which was what we learned from Brene Brown. And through the whole series, it's all the characters coming in touch with the ability to have courage over comfort. So what fear might be keeping you from moving forward? Susan Jeffers gives us a pretty good, thorough list of all the fears and how those fears do keep us from being able to continue on our journey. And interestingly, what she says is that underneath all of these different types of fear, there is one underlying theme, and that is we're afraid we can't. I want to say it right. We can't handle it. The unknown, whatever it is, it's unknown. And so the fear that we can't handle it is what's underneath most all of our moving forward. However, she goes on to say, we can handle it. And this is where all the pieces to the puzzle started coming together for me. We're here because we can handle it. This is what we were made for. And yes, we are all like a little individualized square on that disco ball. But together, we all have the same common purpose of awakening to the truth of our being. And you may ask, how do I awaken to the truth of my being? Well, guess what? We already have the blueprint. In fact, you've had it all along, right here, right now. And then you may ask, but why do I even have to awaken? And you don't have to. You don't have to this time around. You can wait, but just like The Good Place, eventually you will get bored, and then you will be on this journey. And what's exciting is when we know what it is and we know how to use it, then we can awaken to all the creativity, to being able to manifest whatever we want, to help others awaken, to actually create a world of love and peace. We got the blueprint in the movie, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. In fact, everything, everywhere, all at once. Isn't that the threefold nature of God? And we got it in a happy pocket full of money from Connie when he explains how quantum physics shows us what it is, how it works, and how we can use it. And doesn't that sound vaguely familiar? Doesn't that sound like the first 4 chapters of the Science of Mind textbook? The thing itself, what it is, everything, everywhere, all at once. Chapter 2, the way it works. Through us, as us, around us, and for us. 3, what it does, it follows our direction. And 4, how to use it. The invisible passes into the visible through our faith in it. Believe it. Everywhere we look, everything we read is trying to get our attention and tell us in very big letters who we are. We are everything, everywhere, all at once. As much of what we can believe we can have is what we will have. Everything's already given. The observer determines what he will observe. We pick what we want to see. God is through us, around us, and for us. They're all saying, God, Energy is all there is. We're it, and we can use it. And yes, some things may be more challenging than others, but when you are in alignment with your true nature, you can see how all things are possible. In fact, according to quantum mechanics, it's already here. And to quote Ernest Holmes, lying in sweet repose, awaiting our recognition. You know, science of mind has it, quantum physics has it, Barbie has it, and we have it. So, it came to me in this sentence. What was I made for? Here's my answer. To be a clear and open channel for the perfect nature of what already is, to fearlessly have its way through me. To be a clear and open channel for the perfect nature of what already is, to fearlessly have its way through me. All the power in the universe is here. It's just waiting for us to open up the channel and to give it direction. We need to be our true and authentic self. Last year's theme. We need to put courage over comfort, this year's theme. And just love. The year before last, current theme. And to know that whatever shows up, we can handle. You know, you have to let go, to the degree that you're able to, of all that stinking thinking. Those old wounds, those old samsaras that give you some sort of payoff to keep us from venturing into the unknown. And those fears shut down that clear and open channel and keep those irrepressible thoughts of death pushed down. You know, you give plants soil, water, and air, and they know exactly what to do. An acorn, as we've been told, has everything it needs in it. You give it those things, and it will make 1,000 more acorns, which will make tens of thousands of more trees. So divine intelligence going through divine nature just outpictures perfectly. And Trevor, do you have the slide of the turtle? It's kind of hard to see. There you go, better. That butterfly is drinking the tears of that turtle. And it knows that in its world it is short of sodium. And so it has figured out a way to get the nutrient it needs. In just this divine relationship, it automatically knows what to do. Why do we have so much difficulty doing the same thing? Being a channel for the divine energy just to move through us? And I think it comes down to something just really basic and simple. We get caught up in the stuff of life. We believe in the separation. We see it all around us, and we just get kind of mesmerized into seeing that. And, you know, we need to have a clear and open channel when we're given the choice between the high heel and the Birkenstock, the green pill and the red pill, as in the Matrix. We have a choice at every instant, even though we may come up with a million reasons why we can't. But, you know, Connie says over and over in A Happy Pocket Full of Money, just do it. And Susan Jeffers says, just do it. I think all of these things came together for me, all the movies and the books, just to bring me to this point of awareness. And I know we're all here. We have a choice to stay in the limitation and the distraction, or we can make a conscious effort to trust, to believe, and to let Spirit use us, what we declare our desire to be. This is evolutionary. what we're here to also remember is that it's not happening because of us. It's happening because we're letting it move through us. We're just the vessel. That's what our bodies are for. We set the intention and the desire, and then we let it go. All the power in the universe is here to support us. And when we occasionally fall in that hole in the sidewalk, which we will do because we're here to practice, we're here to learn. The key is not to let it allow you to stay stuck in the hole. The key is to get it quickly, get out of the hole, and let Spirit continue to work through us in order to bring forth what we're really wanting. And you know, this sounds to me a lot like, I feel like I'm back in Science of Mind 1, Carolyn. The 5 steps of treatment. Acknowledge there's an infinite source. 2, align with it so it can flow through you. 3, state your desire. 4, be grateful because you know that this stuff works. It is what is. And 5, release it and let God take care of it. You know, this spiral, we just keep going around and around. This started for me 40 years ago. And here I am, right back in Science of Mind 1, going, oh my gosh, here I am again. But it's like each time it comes back in front of me, it's richer, it's deeper. It's like, oh my God, how did I miss this? You know? It's kind of like the Chinese farmer who, I don't need to tell you the story, but he has learned not to judge appearances while things are in process. We're here to trust and know. You know, there's always a fork in the road. You make the choice, and I make the choice. High heel or Birkenstock. But let's not let the fear of the unknown hold us back any further. Rumi talks about a distant field, and Frost says, I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere here, ages and ages hence, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. I'm not going to tell you which one to pick, like Weird Barbie. The choice is yours. The choice is mine. Remember to put courage over comfort and choose well. Namaste. So now, Trevor, you can play the other one now that we have an understanding. But how many of you did not see Barbie? Oh, my. Okay. Yes. Yes. So I already, you know, the choice between the high heel and the Birkenstock was really whether she was going to choose to remain a doll, which was what she was made for, or if she was going to venture into the unknown and allow herself to feel and to become a human. And so in this clip, which is the end of the movie, where, Michael, I know you played What Was I Made For before, but this time it's with the Barbie scenes behind it. And Rhea Perlman, at the end, she played Ruth Handler. And Ruth Handler is the real person who invented Barbie. And so, spoiler alert, she's giving Barbie permission as her creator to become a human, to make that choice.